Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Think they should check our heads and make sure we're all right, boys. Okay, last week was Thanksgiving or was it Halloween? I'm not sure.
Well, if it was Thanksgiving, we did all the giving.
All the giving? What do you mean? We were like the turkeys, dude.
Well, we gave all the giving to the sports books.
Something, man. I don't know. I think it was more like Halloween because it was a bloodbath.
Yeah,
what happened?
Yeah, the guy on the
bottom down there.
Just a couple of dinks and dunks and bounces here or there. Just didn't go to. Dude, it was on the wrong side of the coin. Had that Chargers game, shouldn't have played the spread. Should have just hit that money line. I would have been good. I would have been gold. But,
Yeah, they came down to that 2-point conversion. It was a 50-50 either way at the end. I caught a couple breaks last week, but then I had a little bit of money in my pocket. I figured, you know what? I'll go for player props. Didn't get any. But, hey, you know what? The good news is we're off to a good start this week.
We are.
Didn't get the winner. Did have the under last night. So
so you had the under for 2 units. Sean had the Bills winning for 1 unit, right, Sean?
Yep.
And then I went ahead and got crazy and just complained and bitched and moaned and groaned until Devin Singletary finally scored a touchdown. And then we complained.
I said, I didn't know that. Must have been garbage time.
It was towards the middle of the fourth quarter, Sean. Third quarter, something like that. I don't remember.
Third quarter yet. It was about the it was the touchdown that pretty much put it kind of where you kind of figured it was over at that point.
So what do you guys think about Bill Belichick just saying to hell with it?
He's looking for what I didn't see the whole game.
Well, at the end, there was a minute 45 seconds left. They had all 3 timeouts. They're only down 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen takes a knee and they don't call any timeouts. They let the clock wind.
I didn't like it at all, and I was actually shocked that a guy like Belichick would do it. I get it; they're probably not going to win, but 2 possessions, you never know. You punt that, especially if they knee on first down. New England had no idea they were kneeing, so they knee on first down. There's already now you need 2 more plays to stop them and you get the ball back. So I would have
need 2 more plays or seconds.
Maybe he was just thinking, hey, if we, he's probably thinking, draft strategy might have something to do with it. I know it's a little too premature to say that, but he might be thinking, if we could tank down a stretch, we could just, get up.
We can get the 7th pick instead of the 9th pick.
Yeah, they're in the middle of the playoff race here. That's definitely not going there.
Yeah, I think
6-6 ain't going to help.
Yeah, if I'm a New England Patriots player, I don't think I'm too happy about that because you never know. You block the punt, you score a touchdown, right? And then you get the ball back on an onside. I've seen crazier things happen in the NFL. Maybe, NBA basketball fouls a little bit different, but then they just take absolute unders and turn them into overs with all the fouls at the end of the game. The NBA, that drives me bananas. But in any case, so that's you guys ready to do our version of Animal House? Thank you, sir. May I have another? All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, pledge there. You got a pledge pin on your uniform, Jared. All right, Jared. So last week, woo, son, I think you took the most paddles there. Minus $839, Jared. What happened?
Drank too much bourbon.
Yeah. Bad craftsman blames the beer. All right, Sean, you were much better there. Minus 618. Well, you weren't even drinking. What the hell's your excuse?
Well, I made some of my picks, and then Jared came along, and I'm going to throw 3 units on that one, 4 units on that one, and you and I both were.
Your picks. I was on the fly.
No. I'm not saying that. It just was one of those, bad luck superstition things. Yeah. Rich and I both put our heads down, going, "Oh man, I'm done this week." And
I immediately go back and roll the videotape. I said, I feel sorry for you, Sean.
We were hoping we were wrong, but boy, were we right. The one area we were completely right.
The one thing we did get right all week last week, yes, indeed. That you ever seen the movie The Bronx Tale, Jared?
Yeah, love that movie.
Yes, indeed. Don't be the moosher, my man. All right, next up for me is I was up a little bit, then I took a shot. Kenny Pickett let me down. He didn't throw an interception. The first time, well, only in his career. I look back and I knew I felt pretty good about Ryan throwing the INT. Pickett had made it through twice in his career. He made it 4 games without an interception. Now he's made it for the first time in the NFL. I thought for sure he would throw one. He didn't. But what can you do? Year-to-date totals, let's take a look through week 12. Jared is now down $561. Sean down $570. I'm up $433, but I did hit a plus 245 to get started for the week. Sean's in the plus column for the week. So is Jared. So maybe week 13 will be, last week it was Thanksgiving turned into bloodbath. Maybe the unlucky 13 will turn into a positive for us. Total as a team down 1,400, almost $1,480 last week. Ugh. Now we've turned a profit into a loss of 700 for the year, guys. We got a lot of work to do this week to get it back into the plus column. You ready to try to make that happen, Jared, Sean?
Yeah. I like this week. I mean, I'm firing off a bunch of picks. That's not always a positive, but I think we can. I can make a bunch of my money back this week.
All right. Well, let's start with you then. Let's start with your first one then. So you have, and this is interesting to me. We'll go down the line because this is the Jaguars and the Lions. Both Jared and I are on the Jaguars, and Mr. Sean is on the Lions for 2 units. I guess, the good thing about one of us has to be right.
I mean, I guess we can tie and, we would just get our money back and, so I guess the thinking here on the other side is I was actually shocked by the line. I think the Lions should be favored by at least 3 points here. I guess the thinking is Lions pass defense, so we're going with Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence has a week or two good, and now we think he's just going to light up Detroit's defense. I just don't see it, and Detroit's offense is back into a rhythm. They're getting healthier, so they're putting up points. So I'm definitely trusting Detroit's offense a lot more than Jacksonville, and I just don't think Jacksonville's offense is good enough to take advantage of that bad pass defense by the Lions.
What do you say, Jared?
I think Jacksonville's defense is the shining star of this week's game, and I think they're going to build off that momentum. I think we saw a lot of maturity from Trevor Lawrence last week and some crunch time. We've been waiting to see him step up in a big situation, and I think momentum carries you over. I think they got a lot of confidence right now, this Jacksonville team, and I think they've been able to stuff that Detroit run. And I think this is a good spot for the Jaguars this week.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to quarterback play, personally. Whichever one turns the ball over least is going to probably win this game. I think they're 2 evenly matched teams. I do tend to lean towards Jared. I think the best unit on the field is probably the Jaguars defense. And, if you had to probably survey GMs which quarterback would they rather have right now, Goff or Trevor Lawrence, I would suspect that, look at Sean, so in love with his pick, he disappeared, Jared. I would suspect that you would see them take Trevor Lawrence, the younger guy. And you're right. I think he's starting to get it, so to speak. It looks like at the last couple of weeks, like he's starting to get it. So hopefully he can come through for you and me, and maybe not so much for Sean. And then maybe the best thing that could happen to us would be a tie, like Sean said. Well, he did have a lot of picks, and we were going to go through his picks, Jared. So he's back. All right, let's see. If did you paid your internet bill in between there?
Yeah, I even looked down and it looked fine, and then all of a sudden it said weak. So we've switched internet. I'll be good now. Switching off my phone. All
right. So Jared and we said some really nasty things about you. You're going to have to rewind the videotape later on. All right. Next up on your picks, there's another one. So you're on the Steelers and the Falcons. You're taking the Steelers to win this game. And here, Jared and I are the other way around. We're both taking the Falcons. So I don't know what's going on here.
I'll tell you what. You saw how well Jared agreeing with me worked out for me last week. So good luck to you, Rich, this week.
Well, there's the gambler's fallacy. He's new.
Yeah.
So we got a rookie quarterback that let you down last week because he didn't do what a rookie quarterback's supposed to do and throw an interception. I'm really impressed with how Pickett's playing. I think the Steelers have gotten as many wins as I thought they would get all year at this point. The quarterback in this game the quarterback that's playing like a rookie is Mariota sometimes here. So I really like what Pittsburgh's doing. The rookie quarterback's Pickett's playing good. They're obviously always coached well. A lot more than what I could say about Atlanta's team right now. So I think Pittsburgh wins this game kind of comfortably.
I wouldn't say comfortably this week. I saw a lot of grit from that, Atlanta team. They battled Washington last week. a tip pass that ends in, Washington getting a win that they shouldn't have even had won, and basically gave them the game on a fluke, tip pass, that seals the deal for Washington. I think they're gonna be able to run the ball. I think Pittsburgh was playing the Colts. It's not like the Colts had the best run defense to begin with. Neither does Atlanta, but I think Atlanta should be able to effectively run the ball against this Pittsburgh team this week. I like the Falcons. Give me the Falcons this week. And I feel pretty confident.
So you have 3 units on him. I just have 1 on you. You mentioned, Sean, that Jared picking you jinxed you. So Jared texted me his picks a little earlier today, and I said, so far I have 2, both money lines. Then Jared sends me his picks afterwards, and I said, oh no, I have the Falcons and the Jags too. You can see it right there. So there's that conversation, and so I would. The gambler's fallacy, though. Jared's due. Jared,
but don't change don't change your philosophy of what you believe in just because you hear what I said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no knowledge of what your picks were. It's not like
No, I know that.
I know. I'm going with the gambler's fallacy. You are due, my friend, and I'm going to ride that train this week, baby. And then next week, I'll jump back off again.
I'm not going 4 weeks in the hole. It's not happening this week for me.
Don't jinx us now with universal statements.
I understand the Falcons want to run the ball. I don't know how effective they're going to be against Pittsburgh, and even if they are, at some point Mariota's going to have to throw, and I just would not trust Mariota throwing against that Pittsburgh defense.
But you would trust what's his name throwing the ball? You trust
against the Falcons? Yeah, because he's played a lot better defense than the Falcons. The Falcons defense is not very good.
Yeah, he's due for some interceptions, though. He'll throw a few because he had a few errant passes last week. He's kind of lucky he didn't get picked.
Yeah, but the Falcons defense is not all that.
You should see a defensive touchdown in that game for sure.
All right, so the Commanders and the Giants. I think the 2 of you are on the same side here, too. Sean, you're on the Commanders -2. And then, Jared, you're on the Commanders. You're taking the money line -125 for 4. So why do you both like the Commanders?
My heart wants to bet the Giants this game, but my brain tells me that's not the smart move this week. Plus, Washington's going to get a bye next week before they have to regroup, and then they have to play the Giants again. But this week, the Giants, they really let me down against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Cowboys always beat the Giants. Why should you be let down?
It didn't show me much. They couldn't. They got no passing game. I don't know who's the receiver that shows up this week. It's nobody. Bellinger questionable. It's the Barkley show. If they flood the box, they double team Barkley. They're going to limit his running game. We don't have any wide receivers. You got to go with Washington this week on the road in a divisional game. So it's got to be the Commanders this week. Has to be. So
Barkley is starting.
This is his 4-unit game. So
I know that. Yeah. I'm not happy to hear that, but
hey, you got to take your spots, man. This is my spot
this week, man. He's due this week, Sean.
They are really slowing Barkley down. So I don't know if Barkley's slowing down. Defenses are really focusing on Barkley. It's probably a combination. Everything's just clicking for the Commanders right now. And this line, you always want to tell about lines. This line kind of tells you the Commanders are going to win too, because they're the 2-point favorite. The records are, Giants are actually have a better record. So this is telling you the Commanders should win, and people are betting the Commanders as well.
Which would make me do like Iron Maiden, run
the other way.
Hills, run
I shouldn't say people are betting life. People are probably betting.
You would think, you would think logically, because I honestly don't know which Giants team's going to show up, as a fan this week. So my gut tells me this is not the week. Maybe they get up next week for that big divisional game against Philadelphia, but we'll see.
I think the Giants are going to do what the Patriots have done now. They're going to go to the last in that division and kind of fade out of the playoff race pretty quick here.
We shall see. I think the Giants still have a pretty decent defense. I think the Washington offense is limited, even with Heineke.
Gibson's out. They got no Gibson.
I think this is going to be I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Sean, you think it's going to be a low-scoring game, breaking the cardinal rule.
Under 40? Under 40?
I am breaking the rule, but this is going to be this is going to be an NFC East big game. What do NFC East big games usually mean especially with 2 limited offenses? They're both limited offensively. So 40.5, I'm good with that, because I see a 20-17 game. This could be a 17-14. This could be.
I feel like
this could be a 17.
I feel like the under, Sean, works against your Commanders bet though.
Why? The Commanders want to play that style.
Right, but I think that means a close game that either team can win at the end, and then if that's the case, I'd probably prefer the home team. I feel like an over is the game where the Commanders are most likely to win by a commanding margin.
This is probably a 30. This is a 30-20 game probably.
The Commanders are not scoring 30
who's going to get 30?
Yeah,
are they playing twice? Is it a doubleheader?
The Giants have no secondary. It's banged up. There's nobody to defend. Go up over the top. Have Heineke take his shots. This could be 30 points for the Skins this week.
You can only go over the top if you can only throw the ball 15 yards. I mean, there's no way to go over the top.
Yeah,
Heineke can throw the ball. He's going to take a shot.
That's not the style Washington wants to play at all. So
that's not their style. They have a very limited offense too. I think on both sides. I
think this is a big week for Jock Dotson. I think he's going to have a big game. You know, you got Gibson's injured, so they're gonna have to throw it. They're gonna have to throw it a bit more.
Oh, they got Brian Robinson, the rookie.
Yeah, he's more of a. But I think that Gibson gives him a little bit more out of the backfield, versatility wise, than the young man from Alabama. All right, the Dolphins and the 49ers. Is this the suckers bet of the week? The Dolphins +4 seems like a. Wait a minute. Am I reading this right line? Because the 49ers only could score 13 points against the lowly New Orleans Saints. The offense looks disjointed. In comes the high-flying, super fast, highly talented Miami Dolphins offense, and they're getting 4 points.
Yeah, and that's part of why I'm playing the Dolphins here +4. I think they can even go in and win. But ever since San Fran got Christian McCaffrey, everybody's picked to win the NFC of San Fran. Every week, their line's kind of higher than what it should be.
Against the
they're overvalued. They're overvalued right now in Vegas. I will say I am. One other thing with Dolphins, they do have 2 offensive linemen that are going to be out, so that will hurt a little bit. But we talk about this all the time. Miami is most effective when Tua's just getting rid of that ball quick. So he'll be doing a lot of that. San Fran's offense they have their weeks where they put it all together. They have all the weapons to put it together, but they usually don't. So I see this being a field goal game either way. If you had to tell me who to pick to win, I would pick Miami, but I'm definitely going to take the 4 just in case they are the ones to lose by the field goal here.
Just in case they're the ones to lose by the
money
field goal.
Line.
And you have the Dolphins. You reached down and you put your right hand in your pocket, you moved to the left, you found a pair, and you took the money line.
Money line. Dolphins are the value play this week. I think a lot of people.
I think they're the sucker play this week.
Well, why does Rich always have to put me in like the quandary of things?
I'm not. I backed you up tonight.
I think they're the suckers bet. No,
I think they are the suckers bet.
Well,
just looking at the line.
Well, that's what you told me. This is what you told me.
Offensively, you would say if you didn't look at the line, and I told you, Dolphins, 49ers. I think most people would probably put it close to a pick 'em. Maybe give the 49ers 1 or 2 points. 49ers lay a point or 2 at home.
I thought
I
actually should have been higher.
The Dolphins would get 4 in this game.
I thought Miami should be getting 6.5 in this game. But
why?
You should work in Vegas.
I can see Miami. I can see Miami either winning this game by full touchdown or winning this game by 3. So
So they can win by a full touchdown. They can win by 3, but they should be getting 6.5.
Should be 6.5, or you could go alternative spread in this game. Go 6.5.
Help me understand this.
You think
they're going to win by at least a field goal, but maybe a touchdown. But yet they should still be getting 6.5 points. Kind of fill me in on how you get from A to B to C.
So you think Miami should be getting 6.5 or should be giving up 6.5?
I think they should be getting. Their line should be 7, in my opinion. I think they should win this game by a touchdown.
But they should also be getting 7 points.
Should be getting at least 7 points, in my opinion. Their offense is too good. Their offense is too good.
Can you fill in the blanks?
Help me understand. You think they're going to win?
Why am I explaining myself? Dolphins. That's all you need to know.
But I don't understand how you feel like a team should win by 7, but still
I don't understand the line. I don't understand the line. I'm confused by the line this week. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it should be more.
So you feel like they should be an underdog or a favorite?
I think Miami should be the favorite.
Okay, now we got that clear, Sean. I think he meant to say they should be laying 7 points, not getting. Okay, yeah. That's why I think it's the suckers line, because I feel like the Dolphins probably should not be getting 4, maybe 1 or 2, which makes me think Vegas is begging you to bet the Dolphins. And why would they do that? All right, so enough of that Laurel and Hardy act. The Chiefs and the Bengals. All right, so here we have Sean taking the Bengals. A lot of agreement tonight. And then you have Jared taking the under in that game. I have that game going over that total, but 53 is just a little too high for me. I think both offenses score. Mixon may or may not be back.
No, out. He's out. Still hasn't cleared
sure.
concussion. Still has not cleared concussion protocol. I do not think he will start.
But Jamar Chase is looking like he's on the better side of probably going.
Yeah, he's going, and he shouldn't have any limitations, and that's definitely part of why I'm willing to take the Bengals here at home with the plus money line. I think the Bengals it is going to be a shootout. 53 is high. I wouldn't take that. So I'm taking the money line and the home team here, and I think we'll see some more of what we saw last year with the Bengals against Kansas City. They matched up well.
Like bang, 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 bang.
Have we not watched this Kansas City Chiefs team over the last couple of weeks, man? They can score. And
I'm not saying they can't score,
but you know you have the under, right? You don't want them.
I just think that because the line it seems a little too high to me, so I think it'll go a little
definitely on the upper end of the boundaries of acceptable, in my opinion, too.
Yeah,
but I do have the game going slightly over, but not by enough for me to play.
I think being in Cincy, the crowd's going to be wild, and they matched up well with Kansas City last year. They're getting Chase back. I think this is a statement game for the Bengals.
It'll be 22 degrees this weekend in Cincinnati.
Yeah, but Kansas City's not the warmest place in the world either. My full pick over here, I have where's this game at? I have the Kansas City winning and the Chiefs covering in a close game where they total 57 points. So 27-27 at the end, and then the Bengals kick a field goal. Is that how that plays out? All right. And all my sheets are over there for every week. You can go back and look. I think I only missed one. I don't know how I missed that one. I think I duplicated it and forgot to put it in. So just stupid on my behalf. All right, next up, another divisional rivalry. 2 teams that look like they're finally getting it together, the Chargers and the Raiders. And I think, Sean, I asked you this question last week, but the Raiders have won they walk-off wins in their last 2 weeks. Is that right?
That is right. And I think it ends here. Last 2 weeks, the other teams kind of shot themselves in the foot. Raiders played all right, but they struggled against Denver to do the walk-off, and you know how well Denver's played. Chargers are getting it together. They're still, they're still doing dumb things. They're doing well. One thing that bothers me with the Chargers, they're doing really well in the first half, and then the second half, their offense is completely different.
So they're like the West Coast version of the Eagles.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. So I just think the Chargers win. The Chargers got to win this game. And I think the luck here ends with the Raiders here. They're not going to do it three weeks in a row.
No Jacobs this week. That hurts the Raiders.
Maybe not. Have they officially ruled him out yet? I thought they were still questionable.
He'll be out. He'll be out with the knee injury, according to
you like the Chargers. Both of you guys are on the same play, but this is only a 3-unit play, Sean. So I think you're a little bit safer than you are on the Commanders.
Well, you tried to make it a 3-unit play for me too, and I was like, but next week now I'll be like, let's.
I have 3 units. Rich screwed it up.
Well, I'm just. It's the chart. Give me Eckler. Give me run the ball, control the clock, run the ball.
Well, I think Keenan Allen being closer to full health is a big help for the.
Mike Williams is out this week. That kind of sucks.
I don't know that helps or hurts because he's in and out of the lineup all week, and it looks like Joshua Palmer and the other cat, I forget his name off the top of my head right now. Those 2 guys have filled in, I think, more than adequately in the what's his name, DeAndre Carter or something like that.
Carter, yep.
I think they filled in and more than well enough in the absence of Mike Williams, and maybe Everett on the tight end could be a little bit more involved, and then of course Eckler in the passing game. So I do think the Chargers have more ways to win this game, but again, it's going to come down to I think it's going to come down to which team is better in the red zone is who's going to win that game. And both teams at times struggle in that spot. And I do think in absence the running back from the Raiders, Jacobs in the red zone, could further limit their offense as they get closer to pay dirt.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I don't know the official, but it wouldn't surprise me if Jacobs played, because last week it was kind of the same thing. He wasn't going to play, and look what he did. So
yeah, he set a record somewhere, right?
But yeah, with the Chargers, surprisingly enough, I took them because they're my thorn in my side all the time. I will not go more than one unit on the Chargers just because they're the Chargers, and they like to be that team that always bites me one way or the other.
Go get your booster there, brother. And next up, the Titans and the Eagles. All right, Sean.
I got to hear this one. This one I want to hear.
I got an idea for you, Sean. Don't take the Titans in the game. Take them in the second half, because the Eagles are going to score in the first half and the Titans are going to catch them in the second half.
Yeah, but the Eagles last couple of weeks, at least last week, they played fine in the second half. So, but again, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Tennessee wins. Getting the 4.5, though, I could see us being a field goal. Tennessee has a really good rush defense. And that's going to put it all on Hurts, and Hurts has played fine. And I know that not every team can run with the quarterback like the Eagles can with Hurts. But I think if Tennessee can really limit that running game like they should be able to, they're going to really limit Philly offensively. And if they do that, Tennessee's going to be able to keep this a really close game, and it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. Which by the fourth quarter,
the Eagles will take over control in the last 4 minutes of the game.
Well,
and run the clock out.
How many close games have the Eagles been involved in? Not too many. They're struggling in the second half. And you'll have the Derrick Henry effect in the fourth quarter to where he's ready to roll.
You also have the A.J. Brown
Derrick Henry
back there.
Yeah. Well, A.J. Brown's going to want to show. He's going to want to show.
He's going to showboat. He's going big. He's going to go big this week.
So what do you think? What do you think? Maybe that would be. That's one of those obvious things we talk about, Sean. Is how many when you look that one up? What is the over under in his catches, yards, and touchdowns?
I will look that up.
They're going to try to get him the ball.
Yeah, now the only thing I will say about that, when players come back, since it's at home, it's not as big of a – if this was in Tennessee, it would really be a big thing. But since it's at home, it's just against players. I think it's going to be a big thing because he's kind of mocked them on social media all year long. Yeah, I will look this up.
Be hurt by it.
Yeah, and it seemed to be more his choice, though, too. So
I think Miles is going to have a good day on the ground. I think Miles will score a touchdown.
Well, I can tell you this before I even get to that. DraftKings has a special: Brown to score a TD over 94.5 yards and Philly to win for plus 475.
Yeah, sounds good.
I would take that minus the Philly to win plus 475 because I agree with you. I'm afraid of this game being close and then Derrick Henry just steamrolling the Eagles in the fourth quarter, breaking off. Oh yeah, that's the Titans. That's the Titans recipe right there: is keep the game close. Punch you. They're like a heavyweight fighter, baby. Body shot.
Could it be the fact that they play
such a second or third quarter?
Could it be the fact they play such a crappy division? They look better than they are on paper.
Well, it could be the case, but I do think that's their
That's their MO.
I think they have one of the best coaches in all of football. So I think they're a heavyweight fighter. They hit you in the stomach. They hit you in the stomach. And every now and then, if they're fighting a little bit prettier fighter who's got a little better footwork, a little better hand speed, they get outpointed. But in those real tough, grinded out, nasty games, which I think this is going to be.
So this is the upset special.
Those body shots start to land, and the next thing you know, Derrick Henry is just 60-yard touchdown.
So you're saying this is the upset special of the week, then, in your opinion?
I think there's a very good chance the Titans win this game. Yes, I agree with Sean on that completely.
Okay, so A.J. Brown over under 76.5 yards receiving, 5.5 receptions.
Oh, that's a lock.
Plus
more than 5.5.
That's a lock.
And plus 120 for a TD.
That's. I think the 5 receptions is a lock.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to bet it because I swore to you last night I'm never going to do a player prop again. I've got to live up to my tweets.
You sweat that one out, right? Those player props, you sweat that one, right?
But I think 6 catches is a lock for him. AJ Brown.
I think he's going to have 8.
Unless they triple team him.
8 for $115.
Especially since Devontae Smith is probably out, right?
I don't know.
I think he's hurt. I think there's a chance he's not going to play. All right, so I agree with Sean. I agree with you. I agree with everything you guys are saying tonight, man. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
That just means we're intuitive of what this game's about. We see patterns and trends.
Yeah, as we can see by our results. I can see a trend all right. It is pretty red, my friend.
Look, it's accountability, but look, I mean, you're only as good as your last week, so every week is a new starting point.
I think we want to rephrase that. We're only as good as this week, and so far we're off to a good week.
Smith was limited in practice, so he's just a question mark whether he'll play or not.
All right, the last game of the night for us, the Seahawks and the Rams. Last week, I was sort of right. I said if the Rams got the 14 points, they would probably win. Then I watched how they play the game, and again, texting Sean, I said it is this almost as if the Rams are not even trying to score it right now. They have the second pick in the draft, I think. And
really?
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, I think
Houston right now has the first
pick. Houston, I think Rams have the second pick, or they're right there.
Wow.
And you got to think that the Rams got to be looking at some offensive firepower there to help the offense there and help Cooper Kupp.
No Stafford this week, so we'll have to see what happens there.
I don't think you're going to see Stafford anymore this year, to be honest with you.
Probably not. You do get
retirement. Time for the retirement.
You do get Wofford back, so you don't have Perkins in, so they'll be able to throw it around a lot more than what they did last week.
They started to throw it a little bit at the end of the game last week, though, and had some effectiveness. I felt like McVay was playing, he's playing to his team strength. The defense tried to bottle up the Chiefs and then, maybe steal it at the end. Unfortunately, once the Chiefs got past the 2-score game, then they finally had to open it up a little bit. So against the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks defense is very vulnerable. I think the Rams will score a few more points this week. It's an NFL team, not an XFL team. So if I can get, I need 20 points from both teams. Ty, how about?
I think you get that. I think you get 24 out of Seattle this week. I can see that.
24-20, Sean, 24-21. I go home a winner. You're going to say the Rams can't score more than 10.
No, I'm thinking
I give the Rams 17 this week. I think they could score.
What's Jalen Ramsey for a pick six? What's that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get that.
Negative on that one.
What I would say is you almost, and I'll look it up, but you almost need Seattle to go over anyway. You know how this works out for me sometimes, but I would say
Michael Walker show. This is Michael Walker back week.
You need Seattle to Kenneth Walker. You need Seattle to go over their total to get this. I wouldn't rely on the Rams.
I wish Kenneth Walker was drafted by me.
The Rams over under 16
I think
and
the
a
Rams
half.
are going to score this week.
Seattle's is 23 and a half. So I would think you would need Seattle to get to 24 points to get that line.
I think you got it, Rich. I feel good about it.
I feel good about it too. I have them going considerably over. I think they will go over. That does take into account the Rams' recency being pretty struggling. And I'm a big believer in reversion. Now, I know they're not going to revert as much as they would if Stafford was playing quarterback, but it's hard to hold the NFL team down to 10 points week after week after week. At some week, they're going to catch a couple of breaks. They're going to get a couple turnovers deep in somebody's territory. Geno Smith has been a lot looser with the ball lately. Fumbled a few last week, had a couple that got picked off, one of which I think was called back. So he's putting the ball more in play. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rams get a sack fumble deep in Seattle territory and get a nice pick or two that puts them in scoring position, shorten up the field a little bit for the Rams. Maybe they can get to 20 points. I can get 21 out of the Seahawks and go home feeling good about myself.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe the Rams score 10 again and I'm screwed.
Well, it's not just the quarterback. I mean, Perkins was in a tough position last week. They're just injured all the way around. They don't have much weapons at all. But saying that, I agree with you. If you're going to go into Kansas City with what the Rams had, why aren't you just playing loosey-goosey? And if you lose by 50 points, you lose by 50 points. But try to do something.
Well, I think he tried to win the game the best he could. And the way you can win the game is by corralling the offense. The Chargers offense the Chiefs offense and trying to keep it close. I think this kid, the Kyrie Williams running back, I think you're going to see him have an effective game. The kid ran pretty well last week, can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think having some versatility out of the running back position where he can run or passes and maybe open up the offense a little bit more. Van Jefferson played nicely last week, so that looked pretty good. Higbee being hurt, I think hurts a little bit. I think that obviously Kupp being out is a major negative. I just have one of those feelings that the Rams are going to bounce back from a poor performance last week because I don't think the Seahawks defense is all that good. I mean, did you see Derek Carr threw like 3 interceptions and still managed to go for 405,000 yards?
It's not. Their run defense is so bad.
All right, guys. Any other ideas there? Anything you like in college football tomorrow, Sean?
Well, so I'm rooting for TCU. They're like the underdog. I'd love to see them in the playoffs. I'd love to see them win a national championship.
Ain't gonna happen.
The game sets
1-0 tomorrow.
The game sets up for Kansas State, so you get a little bit of plus value. It's plus 115, plus 110, whatever. Kansas State probably beats TCU tomorrow.
USC.
It wouldn't surprise me if Purdue keeps it close with Michigan. I mean, they're getting a ton of points, 17.
Michigan's got way too much to play for, Sean.
No, they do, and Michigan's going to win, but Purdue can throw it over the yard.
Defensive lineman did a gun charge. He's suspended, so that should be interesting.
So you probably take the 17 there. The rest of them could go either way. I would never give up that many points.
What happened with North Texas?
17.5 was.
What happened?
They're down 14. The line was 8.5. I told you to take 8.5. There's still time left.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens there. But Jared, the U.S. is going to beat Netherlands tomorrow. You can put it on the board.
Really?
Yes.
You think so? You really do? You think they're going to upset?
I think they're going to upset them. They're younger. They're stronger. They're faster. They're a more athletic team. I think that they've underperformed so far. And you're going to see them score at least 2-3 goals tomorrow.
What?
Put a lot of pressure.
2 or 3 goals?
They're going to score at least 2 tomorrow.
Wait a second, Jared. Wait a second.
Whoa.
U.S. has scored what? I'm calling Rich
2
Jared.
2 goals the entire tournament.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I'm going with the Netherlands, man. Are you kidding me? Threw 2 or 3 goals, Rich. Oh, my God.
All right, Jared. When the U.S. is winning 2-0 at halftime,
350. You should jump on. No, they'll be scoreless at the half. They'll be 0-0 at the half.
The U.S. is going to win tomorrow. You can put it on the board.
All right, buddy.
Yes.
All right.
Right now. I feel like I think they're the better team right now. They outplayed every one of their opponents. They outplayed in the first game. They just gave up an unlucky goal. They outplayed England. They certainly outplayed Iran and got a little lucky at the end, but also had a goal taken off the board that, maybe not.
How about that Switzerland team today, man? What an upset win that was.
I didn't get a chance to see that, but I think the U.S. wins tomorrow. I'm gonna put my red, white, and blue on and be a homer, baby. Sorry for anybody who's watching from the Netherlands, but too bad.
And to comment on college football tomorrow, right now USC is losing by a touchdown, so that's just going to create chaos right there. And if TCU loses tomorrow, we got real chaos. And the real bad part about the chaos is Rich said a few weeks ago about Alabama still having a chance to get in. People were saying that it opens the door for that to happen.
What about Tennessee? Tennessee's up.
Absolutely crazy.
It doesn't open it for Tennessee.
No, it doesn't open it for Tennessee.
Nobody wants to see Tennessee.
It won't open it for Tennessee, unfortunately.
I don't want to see Alabama.
Alabama.
I want UGA, baby. UGA.
It opens it up for Ohio State, and it opens it up for Alabama and whoever else you want to make the argument with.
It'll be Ohio State for sure because they're the one lost team.
Yeah,
the only team that they lost to is one of the few undefeateds. So Ohio State would be absolute, but
honestly, I think if TCU loses tomorrow and USC, and it probably will never happen, but it should be Ohio State and TCU should still get in if they lose to Kansas State, if it's a close game.
I don't want to see no Ohio State.
But it will never happen probably because you know how that works.
They're going to put the SEC team in there.
Absolutely. Yeah,
All right, folks. Well, that wraps it up for today. Takes us from red zone to red zone. Tomorrow, myself and Charles will be here on Saturday. If you watch us on Sunday, then you'll miss it. But Charles and I will take care of Del Mar Park picks. And then if you haven't watched it already, Tom and I did Foreign Fridays for Wolverhampton.
How'd you do there?
Racing.
How'd you do with Wolverhampton?
I don't know yet. They're going to run tomorrow.
Oh,
if I had to guess, I'm going to say we're going to do spectacularly. Otherwise, why would we even bother to try?
Long shots. I think long shots.
I have a 33-1 on top of one of my picks. And then Monday, it'll be Charles and I again, and Tuesday for Parks. And Sean will return with the irreverent Jamie Martinez. Who do you guys have on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday?
So Monday we got young trainer Chelsea Mosley, and then Tuesday young jockey Bryson Butterfly, and then Wednesday we have the Clips award-winning apprentice from last year, Jessica Pfeiffer.
Great week for guests as well. As always, folks, we hope you have a fantastic evening. Good luck with no matter what you're doing. But if you're going to play our NFL picks, or maybe based upon the way things went last week, fade our NFL picks, no matter which side you take, we certainly hope that your picks end up in
the end zone.
Absolutely.
End zone.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.
Boys.